Okay, so going into the backlights. So like I said before, and I'm getting a little redundant doing this, but I want to make sure everybody's on the same page. So when I had this lit up before, I can forget about the rest of the strobes because I'm only dealing with these two upper lights. Okay, I've got them set up. These are amber flashing now. Whether they're turn signals, whether they're strobe lights, they're amber flashing. So the difference comes when I go to reverse. I switch to a pretty bright backup light. Okay, so how do we do that? Now, again, this can be done with or without strobes, with or without turn signals. If you're going to hook up backup lights, this is going to be the same thing. This is going to time out in a second. It's going to shut down. And I'll go through this here. So to wire the upper lights, there it goes. Everything died down. On a Fusion, there's actually one more wire. Okay, on a dual LED setup, I should say. So amber white LED introduces one more wire. You're gonna have the red, the black, the blue, and I don't have it on. I didn't have this sheet, but there's one more on it for yellow. Yellow would be right down here. Okay. Yellow is your second mode of the light, which will light up the light in whatever setup that you put it in, whether you want it to be an amber on or anything. There's actually modes you can set up in each of the lights. Mode 1 can be an amber, amber in any flash pattern you want or constant on. Mode 2 can be an amber or white in any mode that you want it to be. So I set my amber to constant on and my white to constant on. White is powered up by the yellow wire. My red wire is powered up from my strobe system that I've got wired into all the other lights. So on these, you're going to run a separate wire from the yellow to each one, and you're going to run that from the relay that you're going to put into your backup light. Polaris put a nice little deal in there for that, which, by the way, just a little FYI in case somebody's looking at how to get down into here and to do your lights without taking out your tail light and everything else. It's pretty obvious, but just in case you don't know, you take this bolt out and this whole piece will swing out. There's actually just little clips up here, just little plastic pieces, nubs sticking out that hold it in. You take this bolt out on the end, it's a pop open like this, and then there's one hook in the back. This whole piece comes off. You can reach right down in there and into the bottom, do your light wiring however you want to do it. Just a little FYI while I was walking past this in case somebody isn't aware of that. That saves you from taking the tail light out or figuring out how to get through this stuff. So anyway, so the wires, again, I'm going to loom all this stuff up again too, but I just did another one of these relays. And this is the wires coming out of the Polaris harness. And all I did was the same thing. Ran my power and ground to these wires that come out of the Polaris harness, because that's when you go to reverse, that's what energizes this. And I actually jumpered my power from the power side that's always live, because this is a ground activated circuit. So you gotta always have a live power wire here. I hooked that to my power, one side of the relay, like we talked about. So the Polaris wires go to this terminal and this terminal. It doesn't matter if you go this side and this side or this side and this side. Does not matter. Again, it's just creating a circuit. But your power wire, whichever side you're hooking your power wire to, is going to jumper from here to this, okay? Because that's where you're going to, now these lights, I should make sure that everybody understands this. These lights up here don't take very much amperage at all. So I'm not putting a very strenuous load on what Polaris's wiring takes. If you're going to throw a light bar or a set of halogens or xenon lights or HIDs, something that uses a big amount of power, you do not want to do it the way I'm doing it here, because you're gonna basically overload the system. These use such little power, and any small LED light's not going to use a lot of power. It works just fine to do it this way. So keep that in mind. Do not do this on anything that's more than, I would tell you, more than an amp, a couple amps tops. You're going to run a couple amps to these, but that's it. If you're going to do it that way, then you want to put another relay in the system to power up that light bar. You want to use this as just a trigger mode to tell you when this would be your switch, okay? Because you'll power this up, and then you want your wires to be on a switch here, basically, to kick that other relay on to get power from the battery to feed your lights that you're going to put up there, if they're big, heavy powered lights. Do not take your power from this and run it to here to run an HID, a heavy light bar that's a 30 amp light bar, something like that you want to come on with the reverse. Use this as a signal only then, okay? So that being jumped over, you want that power to run to your yellow wire of the lights up here, so that the yellow wire is mode 2, which again, just like the Phoenix flasher, mode 2 overrides mode 1, or if mode 1 isn't even on, it just comes on as mode 2, okay? So the yellow wire, when it's powered up with the signal from your relay, is going to light up those lights. Whether they're in strobe mode, turn signals, or anything, it's going to light them up as reverse lights, in this case. So you can get creative and do all kinds of different things. So hopefully that answers some questions there. I mean, you can get creative and do all kinds of funky stuff. This flasher system, I even did one for a guy that wanted his LED lights to alternate strobe. You can do that. It's very easy to do. You just basically run power wires from your other sections of terminal here to whichever mode you want it to light, low beam or high beam. I would say high beam is better to do here on your lights if you're going to do that. And that's very simple to find, because your plug-ins for your lights, well, I won't get under there very good with the way I've got it, but this blue connector is with the terminals there. You can see the wires going into it. All you do is take a test light, find out which one your high beam is, and that's you're going to power up with your power wire from your Phoenix flasher. Okay, now remember, that's going to turn on all the time, unless you want to put that on another relay and set them so that you can turn those on and out. I mean, there's tons of things. These things are the best thing ever. So when you see a pack of 5, get 5. You're going to use them somewhere along the way. I guarantee you. You're always going to use more of these things than you think you're going to. And if you want to be safe in the electronic side of things, these are probably the best way to do it, because you're really separating the system from everything else. So again, putting everything back on for the final here. Fully lit up. Notice no fuses blowing, because I'm doing all my power from, oh my God, this is bright. And I'll tell you, at night, you're definitely going to be seen. So hopefully that helps everybody figure what the system is going to work best for you. Hit me up with any questions on the Polaris General Forum. That's what these videos are for. So if you're watching this on YouTube, apologize, it's probably a little more than what you want to get into, but hopefully it makes sense. So thanks, guys. Appreciate putting up with me. I don't do a lot of these videos, so hopefully it wasn't too fast or redundant. Hopefully it helps you out. Take care, guys.